All right, Dannii, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm sitting in London. There's been a huge rainstorm outside, but uh, it's fine.
Making the best of it. Yes, yes. So tell
Yeah.
me, how excited are you that I Kiss a Girl is now available to stream on Hulu?
Oh, all my friends in America have been saying, when is this coming? So it's been a big build up to it, and I think as soon as you dive into the series, you'll have favorites in
Mhm.
there, and it's just great when you get to see a reality show from a different part of the world and you hear all the different language that they use and um, uh, the thing that most of my Americans friends had pointed out. They said, "Oh, they all say, oh, that's a bit of me," and I'm like, "Yeah, don't you say that?" They're like, "No, of course we don't say that. That's not a thing." So yeah, I think there's a lot of fun things like that.
Definitely, definitely. So this is the spinoff of I Kissed a Boy, which you also hosted. How did it feel to play Cupid for all these women? And was your experience with I Kissed a Girl relatively the same or completely different from I Kissed a Boy?
I guess there's a lot of nerves and tension when you are the first cast
Hmm.
of a groundbreaking format. And, they're still quite young. They're old enough to have experience, but young enough to really throw themselves into it.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just nice to be there. I feel like the fairy godmother, I get to sort of hopefully grant some wishes, make some love happen. And my Cupid, haven't really come up with the proper name for it. But yeah, it's just wonderful to see them expressing themselves. Um, Fantastic watching the girls, particularly. There was a lot I learned about them
Hmm.
and how they felt. I think the a big a huge conversation that happens like episode 2 is like how they felt about the word lesbian, and
Okay.
there are very mixed reactions to that, which I thought was pretty wild. But then apart from that, just because of their age bracket, it's a lot younger than I am, really having this insight into their world and uh, their confidence was really mind blowing. I was really impressed by it. And I actually came away feeling a bit more female power from that.
Nice. That's awesome. And is there
Mm.
anything you ultimately hope viewers take away from the show?
I hope that it's opens people's eyes to the fact that there are many people out there and everybody's different. It's not a cookie cutter situation.
Hmm.
And if you think you know everything, then you really don't know,
Hmm. Yeah.
because the girls were learning from each other. The crew members were learning through conversations they were hearing the girls saying on set. And then when friends and family are watching it, when it finally goes to air, I
Hmm.
think it sparks so many conversations. We were drip fed the episodes here in England, and we would get 2 at a time. So
Hmm.
there was this incredible space. It was like frustrating that it was, had to wait another week for the next 2
Hmm.
episodes, but there was time for a lot of people to have conversations about what somebody had said or what had happened and how they felt about that, which was, I think, a good thing.
Definitely, definitely. So you would say I Kiss a Girl is good representation for the queer community?
Yeah, I do. I think it's like just really loud and proud, and that's what you want it to be. Nobody feeling like they have to hide or be afraid. We make an incredibly safe space on set for them. Most of the crew are lesbians, working with the girls, and mostly gay guys working with the guys, and I think that creates a lot of security
Mhm.
and a lot of safety. And I think when people feel secure and safe, you can really be yourself, and
Definitely.
then we can let the magic happen. We really just let the girls
Those girls.
unfold.
Hmm.
Definitely the biggest, most noticeable thing was the girls move fast. So I'm there almost every day on set, And I would arrive on set, and my show producer would update me on what had happened in the last 24 hours. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep up with this. Yeah, a lot of personality. And they're very willing to get to know the other girls before making a decision.
Good, good. Did you ever find yourself trying to guess who might end up with whom?
We always do a little game before we start filming. So we have the cast pictures, and we write down who we think might be together at the end.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not? Love it, love it. So going back to I Kissed the Boy for a second, how did you initially get pegged to host that show, and why did you want to be involved with that project?
The 2-4 of the production company, and they felt like I would be a pretty good Cupid. With my history of working with the community and involved with the community from particularly a lot in Australia and a lot in the UK. So, yeah, they asked me, and I was very excited, but very curious and very wary of what kind of show it was, because there are lots of different levels of reality. And I felt like there would be a lot of eyeballs on it, but I wanted it to have the space to be something meaningful and something beautiful. So we are making this over here for the BBC, and everybody had the right intentions, that they wanted it to have a lot of heart, a lot of soul. And we set off saying, we don't want this to be like other reality shows.
Yeah.
Part of that was how we crewed up around the cast. Part of that was the initial casting and how we did it, and having psychiatrists and psychologists and a care team there from the first interview, every day filming, and for a year after they wrapped filming the show. Little things like that go a long way into making something that has a lot of integrity. And that then I knew, once I knew all of that, I knew I wanted to be involved.
Definitely. And once you heard about I Kissed a Girl, you were immediately on board.
Oh yeah, I was really in shock that it was going to be the second series. In shock and delight, and it was like painful waiting for the casting tapes to come through. I'm like, oh, who are they going to choose? What are they going to be like?
Yes. Awesome. And yeah, and not only did you just play host and Cupid on the show, but your maternal instincts really kicked in as well, I read. Can you talk a little bit about the bonding experience you had with the girls after the camera stopped rolling, and how you made sure that they were very well taken care of?
Yeah, so a big part of it was just me knowing that they have their care team, but I wanted them to know that they could speak to me. So when each girl exits the show, we have like a moment where they come and meet me and my team, and we just hang out, and they can kind of decompress a little bit, because they know that they've been just 24/7 in this beautiful masseria. And then the next thing is they'll be getting on a flight and going home, and like trying to work out in their minds, like, wow, how is this going to end up when, I think then they start spiraling, oh, what's it going to be like in the edit? But just it's nice for them to hear from me. Like, I have worked, I don't know, what is it, 45 years now in the industry. So I grew up as a kid in TV. And I know what it's like when, you want it to be a fun, safe space. So the show I grew up on was like a Disney Club thing, and all those kids there and their family, they're like family to me. And I wanted it to be like that. So it's really nice then when we get to the reunion part, and I get to host that, when they look into my eyes, it's different, because they're quite nervous at the reunion as to they want to speak their truth, but that might upset somebody. So I think they feel like they need to know me by then.
Definitely, definitely. And you, as well as your sister Kylie, have always had such a large queer following. Why is this community so important to you?
I think it's just a great two-way feeling. Like, firstly, we love music and connect through music a lot. and it's a happy place, it's a safe place, and it's where you connect with other people and you find your friends. And that's joyful to be around. Like, I remember being asked to be the first performer at a club here in London called GAY. And Jeremy Joseph was saying to me, we can't get pop acts to perform here because, you know, if anyone comes here, then the press are just going to jump on them and start making rumors about them and their sexuality, rather than just they've performed there. It shouldn't matter what their sexuality is. But he said, would you come and be the first performer? And I said, absolutely. Like, that's the club I want to be at. It's like fun. It's all pop music. That's where I want to hang out. So I think just from those first performances, jumping on stage and feeling that energy in the room, and it just being this love fest. You can't, you know, get away from just, you want to get back to that feeling. And we've had magical moments throughout the years, from Mardi Gras Pride, World Pride, and you know, hopefully many more.
Definitely. Now, did you ever find a moment where your allyship might have started to risk your career?
Back in like the 80s and 90s, the 80s, people were very, very scared because of what was going on with AIDS and a lot of misinformation. And then I moved to London in 1991, and I remember Princess Diana was a game changer in changing the narrative. And yes, it's evolved, and it's changed a lot. But I think, you know, it's still in some places and some news broadcasts, it's still very, very tricky to navigate. But I mean, I've always just thought, I know who I am, and I know who my friends are, and I know the people I love and respect, and I will always stand up for them, and we'll navigate the rest.
Definitely. So can we expect a second season of either I Kissed a Boy or I Kissed a Girl?
Well, your wish is my command. On a Saturday, I fly to Italy, and we will be filming the second series with the boys.
Okay, awesome.
Very different casting. I think there's a big difference between you know, having a first cast and the audience trying to work out what is this show about. It was very hard for me to explain initially to all my friends, well, they don't meet, they don't get to talk, they don't say anything, they just kiss. And they're like, what? They just kiss first? So now everybody knows how it works. It starts with a kiss. I think there was a lot of excitement in people applying the second time around, because then they knew what it was, and they said casting is open. So if you want this experience and you want to come and maybe meet the one, then come and join us in Italy.
All right, there you go. Well, then before we wrap up, do you have any new music in the works or any other upcoming projects you would like to mention or plug at this time?
There's nothing like in the system that's, you know, like due for release, but I definitely, you know, just dip my toe in the water with music every now and again. So I nothing planned yet.
Okay, fantastic, perfect.